And we're live. So this is the Texas BBQ Show. Chef Pitmaster Brandon Anderson taking over for the last hour of Food Biz Pro today.
You look good in there, man. You look, Patrick, you look a lot younger.
I do, thank you.
And better looking.
Just drinking water.
Welcome, Brandon.
How are y'all? So, where do I don't even know. I've got so many things going on. Let me get this live feed going. You want to talk for me?
You know what?
Quick?
It's pretty normal. You know what I have is like, you see me start the show.
Yeah.
I just randomly start with, Happy New Year. I don't know. I just make something up because I'm never caught up. I don't even share it to my Facebook page anymore. I don't. Well, I'll share this one though because you're on.
All right, let me do this.
So you had an event. You were pulling some ribs racks off the smoker last week, like 12 racks or something.
Was
Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I did 5 racks of ribs, and then I was doing an event for Metroflex gym in Fort Worth just recently, and it was just 5 racks of ribs on this one, and I think 3 briskets, 3 pork butts. It was something small.
Well, all I know is you brought some tasty pulled pork today, man.
Well, yeah, you need to eat it. Tell me how it is.
That's good stuff. I can tell you it is right now. It's good.
Okay, here I'm starting a watch party.
All right.
do
the same, okay?
Okay, boom, boom, boom.
Hey, nothing like live radio. 3, 2, 1. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Anderson with the Texas BBQ Show. That really wasn't a good intro, but I'm still trying to fill airtime for you.
Right. All right. So, I'm going to just let my people jump on the watch party.
Absolutely.
That way I can, everything can be referred to them and Spoonie and Food Biz Pro too, because obviously we're not.
You do what you got to do, man.
Jumping straight on to.
I'll be glad to keep my mouth shut and eat. I'm hungry.
So I got 8 people watching. That's good for.
Nice. I'm going to pull some people into here in a second. I'll do a watch party real quick. Okay, I'll do it on Spoonie and mine. What do you mean pull your people in? Look at that. You got a big old mouth. Okay, can I just tell you? They can't hear you chewing, but they can see you chew. Man, it's good stuff, isn't it? That's got just a little bit.
I don't say that much about my own food, but that's good.
That's got just a little bit of heat to it. Just a touch. That's really good. And I like the fact you didn't put any sauce on there, by the way. Thank you.
I it's
in there. I know
sauce,
there's a little bit,
but I don't.
But not smothered in,
That's got some good smoke flavor, don't it?
Heck yeah. That's really good.
I see what all the people were talking about when they bought it from me the other day.
That's a good mix.
Because I had some left over from the event.
Uh-huh.
I had brisket, some pulled pork left over, and I made a post on Facebook, and it was gone by 7 o'clock that evening.
Pulled pork's one of those things you can just, if you just vacuum seal it or just wrap it up tight in a Ziploc baggie and freeze it for, a long time. And it comes out okay.
Yeah, it'll last for forever.
A while.
Well, not forever, but it could last a year.
A year.
Wrap it in full, vacuum seal it, throw it in the freezer. You're good to go. But
it's good stuff. Really good.
It's not going to last that long anyways, unless if you know what it is, you're going to eat it.
If it lasts that long, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. Let me pull up my notes. Let's see. That way I have a criteria. That way I don't have any dead air.
Hey, dude, I just wing it, man. Yeah, and that's why you're here. We need a professional.
Oh, I just cook barbecue. And I like to be an outgoing person, so maybe I'm a professional at a show.
There is no just. It doesn't matter what you do. There's no just. All right.
Okay, Rack Attack Barbecue listeners that are watching the watch party. I know I got 6 of y'all on here from now. Some will be later. And I'll do another watch party later this evening. But today is going to be the first hour of my Texas BBQ Show, taking over the last half of the Food Biz Pro. I believe next week we will have a full-on TX BBQ Show going live on my page with my beautiful face up top with my logo, just like you see Chef Patrick Mosher's face on there. So my topics, I got one topic of the day, and then I also have notes to continue on through this hour. So intro about myself for those that don't know. The past month I've gained 500 new likes and follows on Rack Attack Barbecue page due to some awesome friends of mine that were able to spread the the gospel of barbecue and what I do with it. So to those that don't know who I am, I'm Brandon Anderson, the pitmaster and owner of Rack Attack Barbecue and the, I guess it would be creator of the Texas BBQ Show, which I want to give educational information to everyone that loves backyard grilling, barbecuing. Basically a audible cookbook, in a sense, versus, just flipping through pages. This is going to be audible. And hopefully after long, we can do some live cooking on the show as well, and show tips and tricks and all that good stuff. Not just geared towards restaurant owners or business owners, but just to the normal Joe. So Brandon Anderson, I have 2 kids, 3.5, 1.5. I have a awesome wife named Rachel. She is the backbone of this whole theory of barbecue and business and everything I'm trying to do. She keeps us afloat while I try to make fun of it and try to obviously make a living with it as well. And then also my barbecue business started in May 2018 as I still am a pop-up caterer. I knew that I could cook some good Q and knew there was food trucks out there and there's pop-up restaurants. That's not necessarily a lot of barbecue places doing it, but it was more geared towards chefs and restaurants popping up a little table inside of a joint and serving up awesome little dishes and private dishes and during private sessions per se. That's where the pop-up came from. Is that correct, Patrick? Right? That's where pop-up restaurant came from.
So it was just like a one-time event, basically, in
it was always
a space that was ready, but
it was never really barbecue. That kind of came just recently. Really,
it could have been anything. Yeah, but yeah, barbecue's pretty recent.
Okay. So yeah, I started that in May of last year. Just slowly built my brand. Didn't start with capital, with a bunch of money in the bank. Just built it with with what I had. And the knowledge that I could bring, and I taught myself along the way just to make things better for myself and for the food that's being eaten, and that led me to when did I think I started this show when I first met you, right? So I mean that was only a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was about 8 weeks ago.
So I guess I started Barbecue for Heroes in September, a charity for barbecue and giving back, and then started the Texas BBQ Show here just this year, and knowing how fun it was to be on Patrick's show and what I could do in return to others that don't know much about barbecue or want to learn more. And I think I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to share all that knowledge. So let's see. So yeah, the podcast, Texas BBQ Show. I'm going to talk about everything barbecue, from products, equipment, the products that I choose to use, where you can get them, which most of them you get from at Ace Hardware, or some are called Westlake Ace Hardware. But everything that I teach, tell about, suggest, you can get them on the retail side. You don't have to be a wholesale person to get them, like some of the stuff I utilize. So it should be very informative and something y'all can go, after the show and go grab and test it out and see what your family thinks about it. Let's see, what else? Oh no, Patrick, dead air.
No, you know what? So I want to say you had a very thoughtful description of the show when you said it's like an audible cookbook of sorts. A lot of times I think, I started the show. I just wanted to share my passion for food. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. It's starting to evolve, and there are days I do great show prep, and some days I don't. But it was very descriptive. And the good thing about that is you'll never not know what to talk about. Just go back and refer to what you said.
Right.
And the great thing is, if you don't remember what you said, we have it recorded. So,
for sure.
But that's it. You look at that message and then you just keep in tune with that. And I think it's going to be an awesome show. I love having you on the show as hosting with me. So it's a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun.
We're kind of like man children, a little goofy, but it's fun.
And we get to share internationally all of our knowledge and all of our thoughts. And it might not be knowledge to some. It might just be a refresher course. We're just here to provide something.
Well, and I love telling stories about just food from my childhood, right? Like a cut gallon of ice cream. Yeah. It's funny because nobody on Facebook has said whether or not they've ever heard of it, but I'm sure they have. But I didn't remember that. until vanilla. It's National Vanilla Ice Cream
is.
Day, and yep, that came up. And you know what creme anglaise is, right? Creme anglaise. It's like it's like a dessert sauce. It's like cream, a vanilla custard sauce, basically.
Okay.
It's basically it's melted ice cream. If you ever want a really cool dessert sauce, just melt some ice cream. It's perfect.
Okay.
It's a custard.
Or set it outside, in Texas.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You don't have to melt it. Just leave it on the counter for an hour. But
okay.
So you got any events coming up this weekend?
So no events this week. I am actually in a downtime where I can do the show. I can do a little bit of marketing. Nice. I'm doing a small little catering for Summit High School football coaches.
Awesome.
Just to give back to them. It's something I talked to them about probably 4 months ago. So I got to live up to it, and they reminded me. So that's Thursday.
before football practice gets in full swing.
Yeah. Yep, they just started back this month, the coaches. So be doing that. That's it for this week. Of course, I'll share next Tuesday what I got going on the 3rd. Rar Brewery. That's all I'll say.
Rar
be
Brewery.
Watching out on Facebook.
That's cool.
Okay, so the partners I kind of got for the show. The air conditioner not being on, it kind of gives me no background noise.
You want it on? I'll turn on. I'll turn on.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but so I don't have paid sponsors, and I don't know how all these sponsor deals work. I got companies that are behind me that are supporting my show by, I guess, not necessarily giving me free stuff, maybe giving me stuff at discount, or me utilizing their product and me just sharing. If I like it, I'm going to share it. It don't matter if they're paying me to do it or not.
I do the same thing.
It is what it is. We have to move on with life. I'm not going to just sit here and say, no, don't use B&B charcoal. They're not paying me. But B&B charcoal, that's one of the, that's my biggest, actually, I'm a pro team member of B&B charcoal. So, and anything fuel related for smoking, cooking, grilling, it's going to be B&B. And there's no reason not to be. I know there's Fogo charcoal out there, Cowboy charcoal. There's Kingford. That shouldn't even be worded out of my mouth. But there's several different ones, but B&B charcoals is the one that I go to, and I've always have, even before I started my business. So I use it personally before.
I was surprised how many different varieties of charcoal they have, like how many different varieties of wood they have, and it's fantastic. And so it's funny that you use charcoal. When so I showed you that picture, that big pit that we used to use in Houston, that 50-footer or whatever, 40-foot, I guess, the pit. We always use just oak. No charcoal.
I use the charcoal just as a fire starter because I'm not going to use propane. I'm not going to use lighter fluid.
No, at some point you don't want more smoke. You just want heat as well. I mean, that's when you go back to going. Yeah. So, but I mean, I say they, which I thought was interesting because that they would go ahead.
There it is.
All right, there you go.
Make sure which one.
Now you can see what you look at. Hey, you know what that's called right there? That's called a vanity monitor.
Oh, this, yes.
It's called a vanity monitor, so you can see what you look like. Exactly. Check your teeth. Make sure there's no green stuff in there after eating a salad or any pulled pork after having a barbecue sandwich.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Right, so what are, other than B&B, who else?
So I got, my other products that I stand behind and that are standing behind me for the show per se is going to be duck fat spray. That is Cornhuskers Kitchen. They're out in Nebraska. I mean, that's the best binder to use for anything. I mean, if you're using a binder, whether you're using water, olive oil, or spraying some kind of cooking spray to bind some seasoning, duck fat spray is the way to go. And I don't know why scientifically. It just outcome and the product that comes out after it is superb.
Because it tastes good.
Oh yeah.
So that's not duck butter, right?
No, just duck fat. Duck fat.
Yes, sir. Duck fat's my favorite.
So, and then I also have RecTech Grills is standing behind me for the show. They've helped me obtain another grill, which I got a Trailblazer RT 340. I just received that over the weekend, and they got a banner that's coming to me today that I will display somewhere here in the room. And that is my go-to for pellet grills. So if anyone's in the market for a pellet grill, definitely look up rectechgrills.com. If you want a big smoker on a trailer, EastTexasSmokerCompany.com, and they're out of Tyler. That is Clint Shockey. And like I said before, I'm not getting paid to say these things. These are the things that I trust, and if you trust me in my cooking, you should trust the products that I use. So I mean that's just how it should go. What else?
I mean, I talk about a lot of stuff that they don't get any money for. I mean, my Kangxing knives, man. Well, I have to say I got knives, so that's free money right there. True. But yeah, there's all sorts of wonderful stuff out there. Yeah, feel free. Look, you don't have to. You don't have to justify. Just throw it out there, spread the love, and endorse the brand if you like it.
You got to justify everything in this time and age.
Nah, we own the channel. It's okay. No,
trying to build his audience. Honesty.
No FCC coming down on this channel yet. Yet.
What else do I have going? Well, anyway, so anybody that's listening, watching the show, if you got questions and answers, or I got the answers, you got the questions, post them down in the comments. Towards the last 15 minutes of the segment, I'm going to do a Q&A. I'm going to go back and answer your questions. That's what I want my show to be all about. Probably next week, I'll see if there will be an open phone line where y'all can call in during a whole 30 minutes and ask me something about smoking. What wood pairs with this meat? What should I do with just blah, blah, blah. Anything that you can think of, I will try my best to answer it. And that's what I want this show to be about and be interactive. Keep you on your toes, keep you from clicking out of this live Facebook view and, go to someone else's page. I want you on mine.
Yeah, or Spoonies or wherever you can find them.
Spoonie Radio is going to be broadcasting the Texas BBQ Show. So look up Spoonie Radio, like them.
It doesn't matter if they watch on your page or our page or my page. It all counts as a watch.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Oh, yeah. So, topic of the day. I'm going to have a topic of the day each segment that I do. And the one I chose today before I came here is my favorite protein to put on the smoker, and that is ribs. Now, St. Louis cut or baby backs? Well, that all depends on how you're using it. So for me, if I'm doing it for caterings or for a pop-up, what I've learned over the past couple of times using baby backs, I will use St. Louis cut because it's much easier to cut and slice each bone off, presently speaking.
From a presentation standpoint?
Because that extra bone on the baby backs, you got to curve it a certain way.
It's a pain in the butt. So I got a question about that.
Yep.
So what's the difference between the baby back, and because I like St. Louis as well, and I know, but what's the difference between a baby back rib and a St. Louis cut?
So on the spare rib, St. Louis cut is from the spare rib. Mm-hmm. Now baby back has, I probably should have.
No, I mean, so size is one
bone. Yeah, they're more meatier.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a darn good.
So the meat to bone ratio is more on the baby backs, right?
Yes.
But they're hard to cut. They're hard to trim.
You got to get that nice little. Once you go down one, then you got to curve to the other because there's two bones up there at the top. Mm-hmm. But St. Louis is just straight boom, slice. It looks better. Looks like you know what you're doing versus baby backs. It looks like I'm struggling sometimes.
I wonder if that's where they cut that off near the spine, where it curves to come into the spine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It must be, because that's why it's called a baby back rib.
Yeah,
and I'm not being a smart aleck. I was just thinking, okay, where does it come from on the pig? Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't even think about that before I started talking.
No, I did not. But that must be where the rib kind of curves to grow into
it
grows into. I think I'll have to look it up now. I need to take a butchery class
next season, next session, next segment. So we need music playing in the background for when I can't talk. Okay, what else you want to do? Want to do the winner of the giveaway?
Wait. So talk about this. So you on your Facebook page last week.
Oh, there's another partner. Oh, when we reverse.
Okay. Yeah.
Save that thought.
So rewind.
So we got fuel, B&B charcoal. We got a binder, duck fat spray. We got equipment. What are we missing? Seasoning, the flavor. I mean, the flavor comes from the wood, yes, but then the other half of the flavor comes from the seasoning, and that's Suckle Busters. And that's what I've used. And there's business guys out there that own restaurants that I talk to, and they know I don't make my own seasonings. I stand behind Suckle Busters and the seasonings they use, and that is what I utilize every single day on anything and everything. Depends on what I'm cooking. And so Suckle Busters is sold at Atwood's and at Ace Hardware. and they are standing behind me on my show. They sent me obviously the t-shirts, a tumbler, some hats, some patches, stickers. I'll use one of their tumblers here on the next show. But if you want to step up your game grilling, if you want to wow your neighbors, you want to be the king of the cul-de-sac, you need to get some Suckle Busters. Whether you need to order it online or go to Ace Hardware if there's not one near you, get it. And if you want to know which particular ones, send me a message. Because we could go through the whole lineup and that would take up the rest of my 35 minutes. And I don't want to do that.
I think
not today.
You know what? You should wait till the end to give the shirt away. That way people have to listen.
Oh,
must be present and listening to win.
Okay.
So hey, you know what's really interesting? I have a friend, Bill Murph, who owns an Ace Hardware down in Cypress, Texas, down in Northwest Houston. Uh-huh. I'm always shocked. You know, you think Ace Hardware, but Ace Hardware's now, because most of them are all independently owned. They're not corporate shops. They have the best variety of local, regional, artists and rubs, and it's amazing.
They do. They now, the one here is about to carry Ken Patrick seasonings. Mm-hmm. Cosmo.
Wow.
Cosmo Q.
No, but I mean, it's the variety is crazy.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, yes. and then each location is a little bit different than the others because they get to choose, their specific mix. But
out of any barbecue, so you got Premier Grilling up in Plano. You got a lot of barbecue geared places like Barbecue Galores, and Barbecue Galores really does not. They have an 8th, I think, of the selection that Ace Hardware does. So Ace is definitely stepping up their barbecue game with selection of rubs and sauces and also equipment.
So do you have? I know you use a different smoker for different purposes. If it's a big event or a small event, what's your favorite everyday smoker? What do you use every day for you? If you're just gonna
my RecTech pellet smoker.
Okay.
Oh yeah, all day.
And how big is that?
Ain't no shame in my game.
How big is that?
That one is 342 square inches.
Okay.
So it's you could do one now with the extra shelf. I think you're at 411 or 420 something like that square inches. So you could do one brisket on the bottom and 2 racks of ribs on top with the second shelf.
That's more than enough to feed a family.
And it's a 20-pound hopper. So basically 20 pounds is 20 hours of cooking. And that sucker lights up and gets to your temp set point, whether it's 225, 250, 300 within 8 minutes or less.
It's a lot easier than a Cajun microwave where you got to keep feeding the charcoal briquettes and what I mean? Yeah, pellet smokers. That's the new thing. I mean, it's right there with the offset smoker with your normal wood smoker. You just got compressed pellets, and you got a couple extra hands being that auger and the fan to make it a convection oven. It's just we're in 2019. There's no need to just have to sit there every second.
From change. People, be a chef. Get creative with things, and you can do that easier with a pellet grill versus a big offset smoker. That's how I've kind of my very first smoker ever was a RecTech grill that I won in 2017, and that's what got my passion for barbecue and where I could learn all kinds of tricks and ways of doing things wrong and doing things right. And then I stepped up to the big smoker, and it took me 2 hours to learn how to set the intake vent, the outtake vent. I mean, it's not hard. It's not rocket science, but learning this on smaller cuts and smaller portions is what got me to where I'm at today with turning out some awesome barbecue.
So I'm going to have a question for you on the other side of the break. As far as you talk about like old school people that don't want to change, is there anything though that you're just like, no, I like the old way of doing it, just because I got a whole bunch of things that I do in the kitchen where I don't want to change it?
Well, I mean, I guess I could say I'm kind of living in the new age anyways. So I'm.
Yeah, you're not an old guy. You're not an old guy. So I guess.
Disrespectfully, I don't have a lot of old like live fire cooking experience to where that's an old technique, and I don't.
Makes sense.
I grew up in the kitchen, using an oven and microwave. I ain't doing that no more. But I mean, I'll use the off smoker as many times as I can. It just takes forever to light it up. I'll be back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosier on Twitter @FoodBizPro.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And we're back. Texas BBQ Show. This is Brandon Anderson. If you're just tuning in, how was that? That was so funny.
Pretty good. That was pretty good. Better than my first day. Okay. I'm just saying.
Well, let's see. What do I have? I mean, I feel like I've already talked about everything that I wrote notes on. So how many people we got watching on Spoonie page? I got 7 on mine. Watch party.
Let's see. I'll go back to Safari here. I got 7 or 8. Let me start an actual watch party. But it's okay, because you're going to get a bunch more in there.
I think Richard's listening. Richard, you asking about how I would prepare a tri-tip? Oh, I'm going to wait for you to say yes before I start talking. So I utilize, so okay, yeah, let's just run with it. And I was just talking to somebody today about tri-tip, Mr. Beasley, about it. So, yep, there you go, Richard. Thanks. So tri-tip, I smoke it, and then I would sear it for just probably just a minute. There's a whole. I like to write everything down and really give everyone a full deal because I don't do tri-tip too much, but I have my notes written down. Tri-tip, I use it to for my chili. Any chili cook-offs that I do, I use tri-tip, and I usually win first place or 1 through 3rd. Instead of using ground beef or chuck, what is it? Is it chuck roast or chuck? What all do people use for chili?
Yeah, you use ground chuck. You can use ground chuck is pretty much your typical hamburger meat. So 80-20. You can use you mean like the kind of chunky stuff? Or are you talking ground? Is
that like some kind of roast or a chuck roast or?
Well, if you're going to use something that's that you're going to cut into more bite-sized pieces, then something like well, you don't necessarily want to use tenderloin, but something that's a leaner cut like that. You could actually use I'm trying to think of a lean type stew meat that's not
stew meat. Oh, there's the word. You can just buy stew meat. That's
I mean, chuck is good. Just diced up chuck.
Meat. Yeah.
Slow simmer that. Oh man, that's good stuff.
Okay, so cool. I got people interacting. So Chris Campbell asked. So Richard, yeah. So I real quick. I smoke the tri-tip, and then I dice it up and put it in my potted chili, and then it'll cook over. That's really the big sum of it. Next week I will let's make the main topic tri-tip. How about that? I'll do that next week because I
like
got
that.
plenty of different. I only got 1 hour for now each week to talk about something. I'm going to talk about choices of wood, what it pairs with, choices of seasonings, what they pair with, sauces, what they pair with. I got something lined up every single post. It's just this first one today is an intro, kind of just get to know me and kind of just ramble on and get me used to sitting in this chair by myself without Patrick in front of me, because he helps.
Well, it's that's why we're here, though. That's what we're here
As
for.
long as you stay over there or someone does. Where's Jeff at?
Jeff's tees off this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know he's fun to have over
Yeah,
here.
he is.
Yeah.
He's
Not so serious about food all the time.
Right. So let's see. So Chris asked, making the leap from hobby passion to business, what's been the biggest surprise or thing you didn't expect? Cooking too much food and having too much food left over. Waste. My first 4 or 5 months, I would assume so many people would be there and so many people would eat, and no one knew me. So I'm popping up in spots where they're like Rack-A-Tack Barbecue, and it's not, so-and-so taco truck. No one can trust me. No one can trust the food that I have. No one can trust the prices that I set, because I don't do, I do high quality on every meat, whether it's upper 2/3 choice on the brisket or prime. Everything is high quality, so my prices reflect that. And at the same time, you also got to make a living with it. But it's not outrageous price. This isn't a Wolfgang Puck barbecue. This is just Rack-A-Tack Barbecue, and it's damn good. And the prices reflect that, and I won't change from it or steer from it. So in the beginning, it was getting my name out there and taking the risk. Yes, it was hard. It was heartbreaking. There was times where I wanted to quit and put my, I worked so hard to try to do something that I emotionally was set after. I'm getting all
You're good.
in my feelings. So yeah, it was hard. It's something. It's not easy. I started this with nothing. After having my 2 kids, my son now is 1.5. He was 3-4 months old when I knew I want to be a stay-at-home dad. And this goes back to the intro of me. I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I want to work for myself. I want to be the boss. I want to have my own schedule. I want to take them to the doctor's appointments when I want to. I want to do what I want. That's me. But I also knew I needed to make a living doing it and provide. So yeah, starting the business, Chris, it was rough, but I learned by November of last year to step back, not cook so much, make it something that people want. So the whole sellout deal, it's kind of, it works out. You get people interested, you make them not just believe, oh, it's good, but make them see that other people are getting in line and taking everything from you, so they have to get there early the next morning, and it makes it something that's eager for folks to want to buy or eat. And so yeah, so over time I learned, don't cook so much. You never know how many it's going to be. Just cook underneath what you think it is, and if you run out, you run out. You'll know as you gain more popularity, gain more followers, gain more trust with the folks eating, because it's food. You can't. It's not McDonald's cheap food. I mean, I could waste a lot of that food. This barbecue isn't a waste. You got to crank up that smoker. You got to use all that fuel. The minimum is 6-7 hours, most likely on poultry versus beef, where you're cooking long time. That's time. That's fuel. That's money.
And time. It's time. And time.
Yeah. So it was definitely not what I expected from the get-go. But as you obviously do anything in life, you learn, you adapt, you overcome. And I did that, and I learned to better market myself, take things to once a weekend, do caterings in between. Caterings are for sure thing. Caterings, you give them a menu, they prepay for so many people, you cook just that amount for those people, you go drop it off or you serve it, and boom, you're done. You're not at a loss. You're not having to worry about, how do I preserve this chicken or this pulled pork? Do I need to vacuum seal it all? How long can it last in the freezer? Do I really want to sell it 4 days later? This is a business, not just for home use. So I learned all that stuff my first half of my career in this business. So all of 2018, I learned that, and now this year I'm selling out of food when I go to places, and I have a 250 gallon smoker, so I can only do so much with it, and I'm still able to, at my recent events, sell out of everything. And that's, $15 to $2,000 worth of, income. And, you think about in a 3-hour span, you're knocking out and you're selling $2,000 worth of stuff. That's pretty good, because there's some restaurants out there that are smaller that might not do that all in a whole day, but I'm doing it in 2-3 hours. So I'm doing something right, and I'm learning. And if I had bigger smokers, I could do double. It's all a learning curve. You got to save up the money. I'm doing it very, very slowly, because obviously I started with nothing. Like I said, I don't have all this capital to just boom, buy the 1,000-gallon smokers, double 1,000-gallon smokers, and cook for 500, 600 people on caterings. And also the catering ads or my exposure is not there, because I just don't. Maybe I'm not putting myself there, or maybe God knows I'm not ready to do it and fail. I don't want to fail. I never want to fail. So things are going smoothly, and they're building. And that was a great question, Chris. Let's see what else. That was a good one. See, that one took up some time.
It was good. That was a really good question.
So Richard Brandt, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, John Stinson said, when I have extras, I vacuum seal it up, save it for a rainy day, take it to the fire departments, or incorporate into other dishes for easy, quick weekday meals. So yeah, when I've had, past 3-4 months, I've been able to sell out, just because I'm getting a little bit more exposure out there, and Facebook is, I'm gaining more followers, and people know my food, and they're starting to, hey, line up. But before then, so in between November and February is when I started my Barbecue for Heroes, and I started it knowing that I had extras and I wanted to give back. So that is where I would take extras. So the exact example would be the Pickle Parade in Mansfield. That was, I think that was actually January, March or February of this year. I had some left over, and my very first Barbecue for Heroes contribution, per se, was to the Mansfield Fire Department, which was literally 50 yards away, because I was downtown Mansfield. So that's where that kind of started, of utilizing what do I have that I can turn around and give back. Or there's times where I've had a fundraiser on Facebook and was able to gain money, and then boom, now I can really do my once a month or twice a month and give back to the community, give back to our local heroes. Things like that. So yeah, that is very good, John, for helping me bring that up. What else? I'm really out of stuff for today.
Well, so people don't realize that volunteer work takes just as much time as when you're selling food.
Yeah, there's no difference between my Barbecue for Heroes and Rack Attack Barbecue.
Exactly.
It's the same. Everything applies except for I don't get paid for it, but I feel good.
Absolutely. It's nice to give back, especially for first responders like that.
First responders, or normal guy that did CPR at a fitness center, and things like that. There's always room to show appreciation to people.
Absolutely.
So to that, I'll drink.
Oh, hey, cheers! Yeah, I'm gonna have some ice cold ice bar here. Cheers to that.
My mom's probably watching Brandon.
That's okay.
Yeah,
it's just Diet Coke. Come on.
Yeah, and a patriotic cup.
Well, that's good. It should be,
Oh, yeah. What else?
So no events this weekend. So what are you going to do then?
Well, I try to convince the wife to go to Arkansas Hot Springs, but, she has to work. She's got to keep us afloat while I'm building this dream. I don't know. We might I don't know what we're going to do with the kids. Got to take them somewhere. I'll probably cook, of course.
Where would you go in Arkansas?
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs, okay.
Yeah, I just want to. My mom took me to Hot Springs when I was younger, and I was like, instead of going to San Antonio to the Riverwalk, that is always what we usually do if we go out of town. I was like, let's go out of state. 5.5 hours. It's not that long, but it's out of state. Go to Hot Springs.
You go there. Bentonville's not that much further. Another half an hour.
Go visit Walmart.
Well, Bentonville's just beautiful, man. You're right there, and you're right on the Missouri border. So you could, there's all sorts of campgrounds and
Go see Joe Wilson out there.
I'm telling you,
Isn't he close?
he's right there. Well, he's in Bella Vista, Bentonville. They're sister cities. He's 5 miles up the road. Yeah.
My mom has my mom has a question.
Okay.
Your mom has a question. How do I grill chicken breasts without them always being dry? Of course, this is just on a gas grill. Well, your problem is gas grill. Just keep the temp low. If you're using a gas grill, just use it. So there's so many different gas grills that ones are infrared, some are direct heat where you got the flame shooting up. If I'm going to be really serious, as if I'm not talking to my mom and talking to a customer, I would say get some grill grates, sit them on top of your normal grates on your gas grill, let them heat up, and you can use that to use your grill because they'll, deter, I guess you would say, maybe there's another word, from those flare-ups. And you just watch your time and your temp, have a thermometer, and you won't go past your internal temperature time and won't dry out. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you want to get that nice sear mark on there, you can still sear them and get that char on there. But then you can put them on the upper
Just
level
again,
there.
that IT.
Yeah, and if you lower one side as well, so one side's hot, one side's cooler, and then put it on the upper level, just let it bake. Basically you're just getting the char and then baking it the rest of the way.
Or mom, you can get a cast iron skillet and yeah, there's different techniques, but just watch the temperature. Watch the heat. That's all. That's really all it is. Low and slow. Even on chicken, as long as you're away from a heat source, like on the smokers, we do chickens in less than 2 hours, even at 350, and that's not necessarily a smoking temperature. And you're also not drying it out, but you're not direct heat. It's been so long since I used a propane grill. It really is different.
Well, I think one of the things, again, people don't, once you get a grill hot, people tend not to adjust the heat. You just cook it on the same temperature. So once you get that sear on there, the color, then you just reduce the heat or shift it to the other side. Makes it easy.
For sure.
And I always have a squirt bottle with water in it too.
Put out the fire.
For those flare-ups.
Oh,
absolutely. Even in a restaurant, dude.
Okay.
Even in a restaurant.
Okay, that makes sense. So another question, Chris Campbell, good self-promotion question. There are a million barbecue places and caterers these days. Tell us what sets you apart, unique dishes, and why it's better than the generic stuff out there. Dang, Chris Campbell. I'm not sure if you're going to get any more samples from me after this question. Depends on how I answer.
Making you up your game today. Look at that.
Yep. So what sets me apart is customer service. Customer service is everything in the restaurant business. I'm personable with my customers, whether I'm seeing you up front at a pop-up or a caterer over the phone. I'm going to tell you it's straightforward, how it is, what I do, what the others do, without bashing the others. And my techniques, if we're going to, who are we comparing to? I don't know. I have a way of doing my barbecue that is a little bit unorthodox compared to traditional, and that's what stands me apart. I'm a heavy trimmer, less fat, more smoke, but I still got intramuscular fat, which doesn't dry out the meat. Maybe that's one of the deals. My brining process for poultry, anything that flies, I brine, keeps the juices in. I use seasoning and half salt versus all salt and just the water. There's so many variables that I utilize that makes me unique, that it all comes to trial and error and testing, which I've been blessed to be able to test all the time, being that like I've said, my wife works full time and she's, helps me continue this dream. And that's what helps me do the trial and error. Everything takes repetition and testing. That's why there's test kitchens for big restaurants, because you got to test things before you put it out there. And so what sets me apart is my technique, my choices in the meats, the quality. It could be upper 2/3 choice, like I've said, on beef or prime, or it could just be the normal poultry. Anyone can get poultry's poultry. Now pork, you can get Berkshire pork. You got Hereford beef, then you got Compart Duroc. Now, to me, it's all the same, because everything else you put into it, whether it's the wood, the seasoning, the way you actually smoke it or cook it, that there's so many variables in cooking, and I've learned that just from myself, from having chefs that I met, whether it's Patrick, Chef Jen Williams, my Cisco rep Grant Ship, who used to be a chef at Mandalay Hilton, I think, in downtown Dallas, something like that. So I got a lot of mentors that are chefs. I don't have any pit masters that I talk to. All the things that I know and learn are from chefs that I translate into using wood, not in the kitchen. I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? Translate chef into
so
pit master.
you're taking kitchen methods and converting those to be used in a smoker. That's absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I and again, pit masters in their own right are chefs, right, of a sort.
Right.
And I don't mean of a sort. That's not derogatory, by the way, because there's a true science to smoking meat. That's for sure.
So that's what sets me apart is my techniques, and I mean the outcome. You try my food, you tell me if I'm different from the rest. That's really all there is to it. I can talk and talk and talk on how I think I'm maybe better, or how I could put out a dish better. Just try my food. Hit me up for a catering, and you tell me if I'm better than the next guy. My unique dishes, I kind of piggyback off of what a lot of people already do, because a lot of people have been doing it longer than me. Things that I think I do very well is pork belly burn ends. So a lot of people use the same wood for every single piece of meat. Unless they have multiple smokers and they utilize one smoker for one piece of wood, one smoker for another piece of wood. With my pellet grills and my smoker and my soon-to-be double smoker on a trailer, I'm going to utilize different cuts of meat with different flavors of wood to get different profiles on the plate or the tray that you buy from me. So my meatballs, that's a unique dish. Mostly everyone here at Spoonie has had the barbecue smoked meatballs. My pork belly burn ends are a little bit different and flavorful to me and to some others. My pulled pork is definitely different than most. I am more of a Carolina Gold style pulled pork versus the traditional vinegar, I guess you would say, pulled pork that everyone does here in Texas with the red pepper flakes and vinegar tasting. It's good. I mean, all I can say is it's good. You just got to try it.
Good. That sandwich didn't last very long, I can tell you that.
Yeah. So just basically try it, read the reviews that's on my Facebook, and that tells the tale. Everyone can sit and talk about their own food and how good it is, but it's really the customers, the ones that pay the bills, and the ones that sharing with everyone else how good your stuff is and what unique dishes. Someone else could jump on here and tell me, hey, this is the unique dish that I had that I never had in any other barbecue place, or I never had this catered from someone that you did that it was special to me. So, okay, here's another one that just popped in my head, a pork belly slider. So I've done pork belly burn ends in between Hawaiian roll with a little side of red skin potato salad for what was it, Trepec of Texas is a Tarrant County Apartment Association, something like that. They had a deal where we went up against a lot of other restaurants, and I took first place out of that, and that was my first time ever. And I was up against the fixture Ben Merritt, who he just won Chop, so go for him. He should have beat me that day, but hey, I won. It's okay. And some other actual restaurants where I'm just a little guy, and that's okay. I'm the underdog, and that's always okay. What else did you ask me, Chris? Unique dishes. Why is it better than the generic stuff out there? Well, anything craft barbecue is better than the generic stuff out there. We all know what the generic stuff is. Spring Creek, Dickey's, Coulter's. Now, those have been around forever. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them. It's just they're stuck in their ways. They don't want to change to a different maybe flavor of wood or a different technique of smoking, whether it's a rotisserie wood smoker or a offset smoker, or even one of the larger pellet smokers that I know that are in some of the restaurants now that might not be Texas, but there's a couple restaurants that I know that have Yoder pellet smokers in their restaurant. and that there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, Chris, thanks for putting me on the spot, man. I appreciate it. No, I really do. It makes me talk and, share honesty. That's what this show is about. That's what I'm all about. I've always been about it. I know barbecue guys that hate asking me what I thought because I'll tell them the damn truth. And it's only to help you, or maybe that's my opinion. Everyone has one, and I'm not going to sit over here and sugarcoat it or keep my mouth closed, because closed mouths don't get fed, and I like to eat. So let's see what else we got. So when you, oh man, there's too much silence there, Patrick.
Hey, no, it's okay. Look, so, and that's, people are like, well, hey, why don't you respond to this stuff on Facebook? Because you know what? I can't talk, read that thing, keep up with the feed, answer all the questions. And so, that's why I just choose a few here and there. But when you do a brisket, you talked about different types of wood and wood pellets. What would you use for brisket?
Pecan.
Okay. And what's the reason for that? Just that
flavor, that sweet, that sweet flavor.
Kind of like the smell of the flesh of the pecan, right?
Oh man, when I get my offset smoker, more than anything, you can really smell the burning of the bark. Whereas obviously the pellet smoker is just compressed wood, and it's the inner part of the core of the wood. So you're not really getting that heavy white smoke. You're literally getting sometimes clear smoke with the pellet smokers. Even at 225, it's that thin blue smoke. That's what everyone wants, is that clean draw, that clean smoke, that clean flavor. And you can smell, when a pellet smoker is going, whether you never. If you're around, if it's back here in the back and I can't see it and I smell it, I know it's a pellet smoker. But of course, you can still get thin blue smoke with, at East Texas Smoker Company, reverse flow smoker, like I have. And if you're doing everything right. But the smell of that pecan is so much better to me than a post oak. But post oak is good to use to longer the cook time. So post oak burns hotter, burns longer, pecan burns quicker. But there's that flavor profile that I get, that it is a combination of the rubs I use with that beef, with that pecan, that just makes it, to me, one of a kind. I mean, when I get a spot, this is on live radio and recorded, I'm going to be in the top 50 of Texas Monthly. Hold that to me. Everyone's looking. Hold it to me. I can't be in competition right now because I don't have a spot. I don't have a place for the readers to go to. I don't have a trailer. I don't have a brick and mortar, but I know what I'm putting out is comparable to those that everyone likes. And I'm only saying that stuff because I want, when I get those top 5, or with me saying this right now, I want you to come and try my food. That's all I want. I want you to know that I'm doing something right. And your money helps me give back to other people.
Hey, they can come see you here every Tuesday at the Spoonie Cafe.
Yeah. Well, we got
to figure that one out. Folks, we don't really have a cafe here, so if you show up, don't be expecting food. But if you're going to come, bring your wallets. We will figure something out.
But that's a big comment to make, and I know what I got. I've been a lot of places, and it's not really a cocky comment. It's a confidence comment, and why not say it? Why not say that you can be the best, or you are the best, or amongst the best? And that just makes people more eager maybe to try my food. If y'all been to the top 5, come try mine. Share on Facebook how bad it is, how good it is, how it compares to those top 5. And, let's set the record. That's all.
Well, and feedback's always good, right?
Well, feedback's always good. I don't care if it's good or bad. You got to let me know how to better it, how to tweak it. I'm here for you, not myself. I rarely eat my own barbecue. You can ask my wife. I don't. Look, this is the sandwich still from an hour ago. Shoot, I'm already done with my hour segment. So.
Oh, come on. You can tell him I paid you to hold on to that for me.
No, I didn't, because I'd be lying. But yeah, I think I got something to show. 1 minute. Oh man. So
and I'll teach you something real quick.
So Brandon Hurtado, sorry.
You want to start wrapping up about 15 seconds still.
Oh goodness.
I know.
So Brandon Hurtado, who am I missing? So Brandon Hurtado, who owns Hurtado Barbecue in Arlington. What's your favorite craft barbecue place in DFW? In DFW, my favorite at this time would be Ferris Wheeler's Backyard Barbecue. And I'm not sure if he calls himself craft barbecue, but he does have items on his menu that are unique, that make him unusual versus Dickey's and Spring Creek. So he would be craft. That is my favorite top out of all of them. So, and then Brandon Hurtado said, pecan burns too fast, Maine. Well, sometimes you got to spend a little to get a little. So we got to finish this next week, next Tuesday.